Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how you can sync listing to leads to Brivity so that all those leads and contacts you're getting from that awesome marketing materials in listing to leads will automatically get entered into Brivity, into your CRM for immediate follow-up. It'll happen instantly as soon as the lead comes in. Bam, it's in your Brivity so you can start creating those deals. Super easy to set this up too. Let me show you how. The first thing you're going to do is go to apination.com. Click on Start Syncing. There you're going to see a ton of different apps, marketing apps, productivity apps, real estate apps. And at the top, under B, is going to be Brivity. If any of these other apps look familiar, things you're using though, go ahead and click those as well and automate those. Let's start with Brivity though. I'll click on Brivity, and it's going to show you all the apps you can automate with Brivity through API Nation. So you can do Brivity with Google Sheets, Google Contacts, iPhone Contacts. Today we're doing listing to leads, so I'm going to click on that. And there it's going to show you the workflows available. So you can sync different things from different apps. From listing to leads to Brivity, we can sync contacts. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate this sync. The first step is to go ahead and sign into your API Nation account. If you don't have an API Nation account, you can click here to create one. You could also sign in with your Google account if you want to do that, which is what I'm going to do. Once you're signed in, now we're going to connect both the accounts, listing to leads and Brivity. So I'm going to click connect on listing to leads. It's just going to take me out to listing to leads where I'll sign in and authorize the connection. It looks like I'm already signed in on this browser, so go ahead and use those credentials, and you can see this is the account it signed me in on, so I can go ahead and select that account. And then we're going to do a similar thing with Brivity. We're going to hit connect. It's going to ask us for a few things: our username and password that we use to sign into Brivity, and then just a name for the connection. And this can be your name, this could be the office's name. This is just in case you are in charge of connecting multiple Brivity accounts for a sync. So I'm just gonna name this after me, and then I'm gonna grab my Brivity username and password and hit connect. All right, so we've connected both the apps. Now we're gonna set up the sync. So the first question is, do we wanna sync all the existing contacts, sync all contacts on first run? It's going to take all those existing leads I have in listing leads and push them into Brivity. If I check that box, that's what's going to happen. All the existing and any new and updated contacts will get pushed into Brivity. If I uncheck the box, it's just going to be anybody I add or update from now on. As they're getting added into Brivity, you can go ahead and decide what status they are, what type they are, and even tag them as they come through. I'm going to go ahead and send them in as new, and I'm going to keep them as leads. This looks good. I'm going to go ahead and hit subscribe. There we go. So we've created the sync. Now we're just going to configure it a little bit more. Again, we're sending them in as new. And also there was this option, do not override. So if the lead is coming in from listing leads into Brivity and it already exists in Brivity, do you want it to just go ahead and overwrite whatever exists in Brivity? Or you can check this box and say, just fill in any blank field. So if we're bringing in any new information, go ahead and add that. Two other tools I want to show you here. One is the filter. If you want to be a little bit more particular about who's coming over into Brivity or how you're handling the leads, you can go ahead and filter by any of these fields from listing leads. So some people will filter by tags, and they'll say, I only want people from listing leads who I tag with Brivity. You could do that, and then just when you're working in listing leads, tag somebody with Brivity knowing that's going to send them over to Brivity. Or you could do something like, I only want people who have an email address, so their email is not empty. Or you could use type and say, I only want people who are buyers. So those buyer leads. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start with creating a sync, and that'll bring over the buyer leads. Let's come down to mapping. You can see we do most of this for you. First name from listing lead is going to first name from Brivity, last name to last name, email, phone. If there's anything else you want to add, you would just hit the plus sign, search for the field you want, and pop it in there. This all looks good. I'm syncing over buyers, so I actually want to tag these as buyers as they're coming over. So you can see we're going to take the listing to lead tags and sync them into the Brivity tags, but I'm going to add one more tag. I'm just going to type it in. I'm going to hit comma, and then I'm just going to say L2L buyer. That way it's going to bring over all the tags I use in listing to leads, and it's also going to throw this extra one on the end. That way I know it's a buying lead. This looks good. I'm going to activate this sync. Also, this sync is for buyers, so I'm going to go ahead and rename it. That way I can keep track. This is my buyer sync. And you think, all right, Now all my buyer leads are going over into Brivity. But what about my seller leads? No problem. We just clone this. And you can do this with any of the rules. So if you wanted to do it based on zip code, you could have them synced into Brivity with different tags for the zip code. If you wanted them synced based on tags and you wanted them synced into different statuses, maybe you want to tag it with hot, have all those hot people go into the hot status. Ton of different options here with the workflows. We're going to stick with splitting up by buyer and seller. So I'm going to do a seller sync now, and it's just going to be the exact same as that buyer sync, just trading out the values buyer for seller. And there we go. We're just going to add the tag L2L seller. And that's it. This one's ready to go. So now I've created two syncs, a buyer and a seller sync, so that as those leads come into listing leads, they'll automatically get put into Brivity. They'll get tagged with that tag, letting me know what kind of lead they are. That way I can set up a campaign, get the relevant information to those leads, and start creating more deals. So that's it. That's how you sync Brivity to listing the leads. There's no more importing or exporting or downloading or uploading. The leads will automatically show up in your CRM as soon as they come through listing the leads, so you can start reaching out and following up and building your business. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.